Has this ever happened to you? Be honest. Look, there's a reason why women say they have a headache. Dude, let's go kill this lift.
I'm emotionally exhausted. It's been a stressful day and my arm still hurts from going to the gym yesterday.
Don't you remember what we talked about being stoic? Facts don't care about your feelings. You need to suck it up.
Are you saying I can't have emotions?
No, you just can't express them. At least not the ones that don't make any sense. I don't go dumping all of my emotions on you, do I?
Yeah, I guess you're right, bro. Thanks for setting me straight.
Anytime. Now, the biggest mistake that you're likely to make in your relationship with a woman is turning her into a bro. Now, you probably don't mean to do this. You don't want a masculine woman, but you're probably making this mistake without even realizing it, and the consequences are dire. Now, if you got a girl that you're really interested in and you could see yourself ending up with, and you start to masculinize her, what's gonna happen is she's gonna lose attraction for you. She's either gonna despise you or start to see you as a buddy instead of a sexual partner. And she's gonna look elsewhere to get her emotional needs met. Contrary to popular belief, most women do not leave a man or cheat on him because they see a more attractive alpha male. Instead, the real reason is usually because her emotional needs aren't being met in her current relationship. Now, in this video, I'm gonna give you 2 extremely powerful techniques that if you use these techniques, you're gonna have a woman that completely adores you, completely respects you, and has a strong sexual desire for you. So why then do men actually masculinize their women? Well, like I said before, it's not because they mean to do it. Most likely, you are into personal development, okay? You've probably learned a lot of stuff if you're watching these videos on, waking up early, maybe you take cold showers, you get to the gym, right? You go after your goals and you're ambitious, and that's really improved your life. So it's natural that if you meet a woman and she starts to become part of your life, you want to improve her life like yours have been improved. So the first thing you probably do is you start pushing her to start waking up early and working on her goals and being more ambitious. And a woman can do all of those things, but the problem is those are masculine desires and actions. The second thing you likely do is when you get into an argument with her, you probably try to rationalize away her emotions and maybe you even try and solve her problems instead of just listening and empathizing. When you do this, what happens is you depolarize the relationship and she starts to see you as either a taskmaster or a buddy instead of a sexual partner. Psst, hey.
Oh, I'm sorry, I must have fallen asleep.
You wanna...
Oh, I have a really bad headache right now. I'm sorry.
I just don't get it. She seems to have a headache every night. It can't be something I'm doing. I've got her going to the gym, working on her business, and now she's finally starting to understand how to stop being emotional all the time. We're making so much progress. Tomorrow, I should talk to her about how sometimes I don't feel like going to the gym, but I still do it because I know it's good for me, and this is kind of like the same thing. Yeah, that should fix her problem.
Will you at least let me, Before we can get into the 2 powerful techniques, we need to start by discussing the masculine versus the feminine. A few months ago, I was sitting on the couch with my wife, Nicole, and we were watching Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Pretty crappy movie, by the way. I wouldn't recommend it. Anyway, there's this part of the movie where the volcano's erupting, where all the dinosaurs live, and everyone's trying to get to the dock to get on this boat to save the dinosaurs and save themselves. The Brachiosaurus, well, he's too big to fit on the boat, so he ends up getting left behind. Well, at this point in the movie, I turn and I look at Nicole, and she's sobbing her eyes out. She's literally crying over this animatronic dinosaur that's not even cute. All right? And she turns to me, and she's equally astonished that I have no emotional reaction at all. In fact, she turns to me and she says, "Are you completely heartless?" So I begin to lay into her. I was like, look, This is ridiculous. Like you're getting upset over this dinosaur that's not even real. But then I stopped myself. I realized that not only was her emotional reaction not ridiculous, but it was actually beautiful. That's exactly the kind of emotional reaction that I want the woman that I'm spending my life with and raising my child to have. I want her to be the kind of person that would cry over an animatronic dinosaur. The masculine is all about domination and strength and courage and being hard and breaking through barriers, right? It doesn't really care if some feelings get hurt in the process. The feminine, on the other hand, is all about emotions. It's about being soft and caring and nurturing and the present moment. It doesn't really matter so much about the future. Both of these are important. Both are necessary. Neither one is good or bad, but they're both needed in the world. Now, I want you to imagine for a second a totally masculine world, okay? It'll be a lot like planet Vulcan, all right? Everyone would be logical and only making rational decisions. We'd work really hard, and unfortunately, we'd never get to enjoy the fruits of our labor because we wouldn't take any time to do that, right? People would, have to die if they have to die. It's no big deal. That's how the world is. And, that would not be a world that you would want to live in. It would be a very hard and cruel place. Now, consider a completely feminine world where everyone's feelings matter and everything is consensus driven. It'd be a lot like Barbie Land. All right, nothing would probably get done because everyone would have to agree on everything, and we'd have to worry about if this person is offended and how this person feels. Probably the whole human race would go extinct if we lived in a world like that because no one would ever make the tough decisions and sacrifices that sometimes have to be made. Here's an example. A few weeks back, I was looking out my window and I saw something horrific. I saw this crow pecking a baby bunny's head. It didn't make much sense to me at first. I thought the baby bunny must be dead. But then I saw it blink and it started to move its head. So I was like, what the heck is going on? So I went outside to look and investigate, and I saw that the baby bunny actually had a big gash in its side and its guts were leaking out. And the crow knew it was going to die, and so it was trying to accelerate the process. So I did what I had to do. I scared away the crow, grabbed my axe, and I chopped off the baby bunny's head. It wasn't an easy thing to do, but it had to be done. I'd actually already taken a video of the crow pecking the bunny's head because I thought that was really weird, and I sent it to Nicole. But then I told her what I had to do. And, of course, she was mortified, as I would expect, right? But she told me there's no way I could do that, right? And I believe her. There's no way she could go out there and chop off a bunny's head, even if it's to save the bunny from torture. That's the difference, right, between a man and a woman. The masculine and the feminine are very important for balance in the world. And the masculine and feminine are important for balance in a relationship. You see, I don't want a masculine woman. I don't want a woman that's going to go outside and chop off a baby bunny's head, even if it needs to be done. Instead, I want a woman, especially one who is raising my child, to be soft and caring and nurturing, and not to be hard and cruel. Now that you understand a little bit more about women and the feminine, let me give you the goods you came for, okay? This magic phrase I'm about to tell you about will make you a hero in your woman's eyes. This phrase is so powerful that once you start using it, you'll wonder why you haven't always been using it, and it's gonna work even if she knows you're doing it, okay? There's just one caveat. If you're not sincere and you don't really mean it, it's not gonna work, okay? But now that you understand a little bit more about the feminine and why they act the way that they do, it's going to probably make a lot more sense to you. The magic phrase is simply, I'm sorry I hurt you, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. Now you can say this however you want to say it. The most important point is that you validate her emotions, okay? And you make her feel like it's okay to feel the way that she feels. Now most guys, including myself at times, do the exact opposite. As soon as a woman gets emotional, we start to get defensive, and instead of just listening to her and validating her emotions, we try to rationalize them away and tell her that her reactions are overblown and ridiculous. This is a surefire way to have an argument and to end up sleeping on the couch. Instead, just validate her emotions. They can be completely crazy and absurd. That's okay, all right? Most of the time, you're not gonna understand why she's having this crazy reaction, and she probably won't either. But even though the cause is not rational, it's still a valid emotion. It's still actually how she feels, and that should be important to you. Just let her know that you understand how she feels, and it's okay to feel the way that she does, and let her express it all. Don't get defensive. Don't try to rationalize things away. Just listen and hear what she's saying. Okay? And don't try and fix the problem. 99% of the time when a woman says that she has a problem, she doesn't want you to fix it. Guys want you to fix the problem. If I tell you you have a problem, I have a problem, I want you to fix the problem. But women, they would rather just have you listen. Sometime last year, I was at a winery with Nicole, and we were waiting for a server to come to take our order. And while we were waiting, I leaned in to kiss her, but I kind of looked over her shoulder while I was kissing her because I was waiting to make sure that I didn't miss the server when he came. And yeah, nothing that anyone really get upset about, right? Wrong. She was upset. She was visibly upset. And at the time, I didn't know why. I was like, what the heck is going on? What did I do? Why could she possibly be upset? What could possibly be happening, right? She wouldn't tell me. She just said, I want to leave. So I said, okay, fine. We leave. We're going out to the car. Finally, we get in the car. And finally, she tells me, she says, when you were kissing me, you weren't looking at me. I had to do a double take. I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, this is what you're upset about? She repeated it. And then she said, you don't love me. Now I was upset. Now I was irritated. I was like, what the heck? Are you crazy? Like, seriously? I was literally just looking at the waiter just to make sure that I didn't miss him when he came. Like, after all I do for you and how I treat you, how could you treat me like this? How could you think so little of me that I would be doing this on purpose? Like, you're being ridiculous and really overplaying this whole situation, okay? This was a 4-hour discussion that didn't need to happen at all, okay? All that I literally had to do in this situation was just say to her, okay, I see. You're upset because I wasn't looking at you when I kissed you. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. I really didn't mean to. I was literally just looking for the waiter just to make sure we didn't miss the order. But I can understand how in that situation you could feel like, oh, why is he looking over there? Like, is something more important than me? And I can understand how that could hurt your feelings. And I really didn't mean to hurt your feelings. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not an admission of guilt. It doesn't mean I did anything wrong. Okay, it's just acknowledging that she's hurt, and that's all that she's looking for. If I would have done that, I can tell you immediately, she would have turned around and we would have resumed our lovely evening. In fact, not only would we have resumed our evening, but she probably would have been even more excited to be with me and have an even better time because she would know that she has a man who actually understands her and cares enough to find out what she's feeling and to acknowledge and validate her feelings. Now, you might think, guys, that this is ridiculous and irrational. Why should I have to handle a woman with kid gloves and, and all this stuff? And believe me, okay, I used to think exactly the same way, but you have to understand, all right, that women experience emotions about 10 times more strongly than you or I, okay? To them, it's not irrational, it's not ridiculous at all. It's just simply how they feel. And again, it's not about right or wrong, okay? It's not about an admission of guilt. It's just simply being the kind of man that wants to be there for your woman and to let her know that you actually care about her and make her feel loved. Speaking of loved, 99% of the time, when a woman's upset, it's not because of what she says it is. It's not because you forgot the groceries on the way home from work. It's not because you stayed late at work. And it's not because you forgot what she said, although that one happens to me too many times. What it really is that she's not feeling loved. Now, women are going to say a lot of different things, but I can tell you that most of the time, no matter what she says, even if she says, it's because you weren't looking at me when you kissed me, what she really means is in this moment, I didn't feel loved. So the solution to this is pretty simple. All you have to do is make a woman feel loved. Remember that when she's upset, probably the problem is that she doesn't feel loved right now. And how can you do this? It's exactly what we just talked about, right? It's by validating her emotions. So when she says she's upset, when she says that she's hurt, tell her that you care. Tell her that you're sorry that she's feeling that way. Don't be defensive. In addition, make her a priority. A lot of times with your busy life, all the things you're going after as a man, a woman can feel like she's not a priority in your life. So what you have to do is set aside specific time to spend quality time with her. And then finally, reassure her. Women need constant reassurance. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them that you love them or how beautiful they are. You have to keep on doing it because she needs that constant reassurance to feel safe and to feel loved. These two things will work 100% of the time because they hit at the core of your woman's needs. A woman needs to feel safe and loved in order to open up to you emotionally and physically. Now, you might have some resistance to what I'm saying, but I promise you, if you put it into practice, you'll find that you'll have a woman that will never leave you, will never cheat on you, because it's very difficult to find a guy who understands women like you now do. Now, don't confuse what I'm saying with being a nice guy. All right, it's not about bending over backward for a woman or doing anything to please her. You still have to be a man who has a backbone, stands up for himself, has respect for himself, and doesn't just do things in order to get a woman to not leave him or to get her validation. The reason why you're going to do this is because you want to change the way you communicate so that you can communicate better with her now that you understand how she sees the world. And by doing that, you're going to show her how much you care about her and the relationship. A few weeks ago, my sister came to visit and we were all sitting on the backyard patio and discussing a lot of the things that I talked about in this video, right? Specifically how men act a lot of times when women express their emotions. And both Nicole and my sister were complaining about the same thing, about how whenever they express their emotions, most of the time men will react by invalidating them or trying to solve the problem, and they can't just listen and just accept what I told you in this video. So, but one of the things that they both said that really stuck out to me, what shocked me even more was that they both also shared the experience of the first time they talked to a therapist, and it was almost the exact same thing. They said that, look, this was the first time that in my life that someone just listened to what I had to say, didn't judge me, just validated my emotions, validated the experiences that I went through, and it was life-changing. Life-changing. That's how they describe someone just sitting down and listening to what they have to say without judgment, validating their emotions, validating their experience, and just giving them understanding. Now, if you could do this, imagine how powerful that would be and how you would change your life and change your relationship. Dude, you totally missed out. I set some new PRs in the gym today. Too bad you had to go visit your doctor, clitologist. I never even heard of that kind of doctor before. Anyway, you can make up for it tomorrow. You can just get some extra sets in.
Yeah, I had to visit Dr. D again.
If you really want to become the kind of man that women can't resist, you're going to want to watch this video next, where I teach you how to become a top 0.1% man.